Welcome back to the Genus Brewing channel. Today we are brewing an American red or an amber ale, not using any crystal malts. We're going to be talking about a couple different ways to tackle that color without using crystal malts. And then we're going to be giving you a complete breakdown of the recipe we're brewing today. To start with, I'm going to be using a high-colored pale base malt. This one happens to be Great Western Northwest Pale Ale Malt. It's about 3 Lovibond, has a ton of flavor behind it, and also is going to give us a little bit darker color than a typical base malt. The next and most important part, in my opinion, is building those intermediate flavors. And for that, I'm going to use some red X malt, and if you don't have access to that, I also have some light Munich malt as well. Both of these are gonna build up that color even more, build up that body, build up that sort of nice biscuit intermediate flavor profile. Red X in particular is one of my favorite malts to use. Not only does it have red in the name, but it actually produces a beautiful rose color in the beer. Lastly, to balance out our sort of richer, sweeter malts, we have a couple of drier malts. So first of all, I have a ½ pound of Special X. You can also substitute this out for something like a Cara Aroma. This is gonna give you a really nice sort of complex dark fruit profile, but without adding additional sweetness. Lastly, I have 2 ounces of pale chocolate. This is going to dry out the finish of the beer so it's not cloying on the tongue, and also darken that color up just a little bit more. Now that we have our malts, let's go ahead and get mashed in, and then we're gonna cover water chem. And as with any good recipe, we've got some water chemistry to do. As with any American style red, we actually want to increase that sharpness. We want to make those hops pop, and overall minerality. So this is the water profile we're going to go for, like right here. As we've got a recirculation going, you can see we're pulling that beautiful red color out of the grains. As for mash temps, we're right at about 150 degrees, so middle range, nothing special. All right, we've gotten through our mash. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my pump here. So now we're gonna start sparging this, but let's talk a little bit about hops.
Hop schedules with Timothy.
Hey Tim,
Yes.
what hops would you put in the American red?
Probably some Centennial, maybe some Cascade in there. Throw the Centennial in at like 5 minutes, get all that really good grapefruity and pininess out of it. Whirlpool the Cascade for some good floralness, balance it out. No reason to dry hop in that, you just need to balance out the sweetness of the malts for it. So that, Centennial and Cascade.
Sweet, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, Tim, one more thing.
Yeah.
Hop schedules with Timothy.
After a small bittering addition, we did decide to go with the 2 ounces of Centennial at 5 minutes for a little bit of grapefruit and sharp bitterness, and some Cascade at Whirlpool to give that grapefruit and floral note to balance out the malt sweetness. We then moved into the kitchen and chilled our wort, getting ready to pitch our yeast at the final product. We did end up with 4.5 ounces, having to strain out those hop materials, and our gravity on this one was overshot because we added every malt that we suggested adding and not the recipe that we have linked below, which is the correct recipe to use for this style of beer. After transferring through our strainer into the fermenter, we pitched a Cali Ale yeast from Cellar Science. You can also use standard Chico Ale, USO 5, 1056 flagship, but our favorite yeast to use for this, if you have liquid, is going to be Independence from Imperial Yeast, which is going to be a little bit more sweeter and more forgiving, especially on lower temperatures. We've got this beer ready to drink now, and although the recipe that we did has more Munich malt in it that we would normally like, we did that to show you both the Munich and the Red X side of what we can offer. But we're gonna go ahead and taste the beer we made and show you what we would do differently. So on the malt side, the malt forwardness of this beer is definitely, it leans into that that biscuit fruitiness almost.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, you know, the biscuitiness it's a little much for my palate, I think. But you know, it might actually be really good for like a winter warmer. But you know, going with the Red X might work really well. You know, I really get the pine and the citrus off the hops there, and you know, it's really good. Makes it really drinkable.
Yeah, I think if we just basically took the same base and took out just like 20% of the biscuitiness, this would be an all-around perfect amber.
Yep, I agree.
So this full recipe will be available on our website. We're going to obviously link the recipe below in the description. If you want to buy this entire recipe from us, feel free to visit us on our website. Follow us on Instagram. We do a weekly podcast / live stream every Sunday. Hit us up on YouTube. Check us out. Watch us, talk about beer and make fun of one another and say hi, slap hands, do all that stuff every Sunday, 8:45 Pacific Standard Time, a.m. in the morning. I have a sword. Oh my God, I have a sword. Check it out on our Instagram every day, almost every day, because we use it.